With the Tokyo Game Show, we get a new trailer for Dawn of War 4 titled Back to War. And in this video today, I'm just going to dissect this trailer as someone who has already played the game. And I'm going to talk about a little, or not a little, but a lot of the things that people have brought up as questions as to maybe like, hey, how do the Space Marine buildings work? Well, you can see them dropped down from orbit in this video. And I think this it's only a minute and a half trailer, and I think it actually answers a lot of questions people have about a lot of the way that the game's just kind of base mechanics work. So in my typical fashion of upfronting the knowledge, my videos, basically we're going to go through this. I'm going to link you the trailer in the description. So if you don't even want to watch me go through this whole thing, it's a minute and 48 seconds. I don't want to waste your time. I'm going to go ahead and link that. Go ahead and click and watch that trailer, and it'll probably answer the majority of the things that you probably have questions about. Again, like some of the big things I think that people are wondering is, you can see if I just jump right over here, this is how all of the Space Marine buildings come down. They'll just kind of drop from orbit, just like they did in a previous Dawn of Wars, right? So just to kind of give you a sense of what we'll be kind of going through, and you'll get a sense too of a little bit more about how the game played. Now, myself and a number of other people have already played it, so you can see that we'll finally be able to give you a little bit better representation of what's going on in the actual game, because a lot of what we're going to be looking at, I've only played with placeholders or no voice acting, stuff like that. We'll be able to see AdMech, their voice acting, Necrons, a little bit of their voice acting, what each of the armies kind of looks like at a mass, I guess more of an endgame quote unquote army. And we'll just kind of talk about those things. That's too long to watch this entire video. If that's all you want to know, please feel free to go ahead and shut the video down. I want to be respectful of your time. Before you head out though, if you did end up enjoying this video, please don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe. And also I do stream every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday on Twitch, linked below in the description. So go ahead and check that out. But let's get started here on the brand new Dawn of War 4 trailer. You didn't ask for this, but now I've got a webcam on. So we're going to go through this trailer. We'll be able to see my reactions if that really matters for you. But we'll go ahead and just kind of push play here. And I'm going to stop at certain points and talk about certain things. That's why I wanted to put that link below so you can just watch this thing if you so wish. So a lot of people initially asked for AdMech, will we be getting access to Titans? As you can see, we do have Knights that are going to be evident here. Now, this doesn't look like, and I've not played AdMech. I've only played Space Marines. I've only played against the Orcs and the Necrons at the time of the closed, not even a beta, like the little alpha test they let us use. We weren't, or the AdMech weren't at any kind of point to really be shown off. So this is kind of the very first viewing that even I have for a lot of their units outside of that initial gameplay trailer that we took a look at a little bit ago, or a little bit, that's like months or two ago, whatever the fuck. But you can see some AdMech action here, and you can see what that knight looks like. You can see that orc, big boy right there as well. The names, I just can't remember anymore, man. It's like a Sunday, my brain is addled. Who am I anymore? And, oh man, did it show? Damn, it did not. So one kind of thing I want to talk about real quick here too is, I actually, Stern Guard veteran with bolters, well, I'm going to say bolters. I know they're not bolters. Are those Storm Bolter? I don't remember, man. But either way, you can see from this picture right here, the kind of loadout selections that you get right now, right? I was only able to use them with power swords and shields, but it's cool to see these different variations, even in just this video that or this sampling that I've not even been able to take play. And I look down at the bottom here. A lot of people have asked, like, hey, is this a limit? If you're coming from Total War, you know, you only have a 20 stack, right? 20 unit cards that can be in the max of your army. But the reality of the situation is this grows as your army grows. So if you only have 4 placards down there, 4 placards are going to only be displayed, and it will be small. But if that expands out to, I'm just going to use a hypothetical number like 35, you can see at the very bottom here, there's a scroll bar. It's not going to be active right now, but it will be eventually as you grow that army. And behind this text, you can see that well, behind this text, if I go ahead and press play, we jump back a little bit and I don't move the mouse. See how it says 96 out of 300? Well, that is how the unit caps in this game work. So as you push to 300 being your max, those unit caps are going to basically build inertia against your requisition and your power. That 300 unit cap, as I smack the microphone, will basically throttle you from making too big of an army too fast, because it will reduce the amount of requisition and energy you're going to make. And two, you can see over here on the right, this is actually, I don't remember if it was over there prior, as I move my head. So right here, you can see these are your command points that you get to use. And that's not just a Space Marine specific thing. This is a army-wide thing for every single army. They'll have their own command points, and they are right here. Like this is an orbital strike, as you would imagine. This is a real quick Thunderhawk dropping of missiles or bombs, followed by this is your command point amount right there. So we'll go through this. And a lot of people too were asking, hey, what is building like for Space Marines? Now, we don't have any units that are going to be walking around and building for Space Marines. Everyone kind of has their own build mechanics, very similar to how, you think of Dawn of War 1. Eldar go and summon something in more or less using their bone singers. You've got the little AdMech, not drones, they're not AdMech drones, the servitors that go around and kind of like zap things, and then you get this thing dropped in from space. So the same thing we're going to be getting here with the buildings for Space Marines is that they will be dropped down. And I don't know if this showed it. Did it show it? Okay, well, you can rotate those buildings. They aren't just statically set to be like this. You can have this, and you can kind of see from some of these other shots, these things are in different orientations. Like, oops. And this just kind of shows a little bit too about the sync animations and a lot of the emplacements. So you can house up in some of these emplacements over here. I don't think I saw a bunker. No, that wasn't that. That was just the Space Marine building. But a lot of these sync animations are going to be reactive to what is going on around you, right? So are the units over here fighting, and are there multiple things that are low in health? That sync animation won't just be a canon animation. It'll all be responsive and contextual to a lot of the stuff that's going on. And a lot of this information, if you watch my last video, is the same, but now we're going to get into that juicy AdMech. You can see some fun action coming into here. I have not looked at the AdMech's codex in probably 3 years, so I have no idea the names of the names anymore. An amazing shot right there. So let's just come back to that real quick. Amazing shot, Bill. Let's take a look at that one and highlight it. So I actually don't know what these little guys are up here in this corner. I don't know if that's part of something or a cooldown for certain battle abilities, but that was not something I've played with before. Man, I thought they were going to show the actual. Damn, they don't. Okay, so this thing right now, you can do reserves from the middle of the battlefield. All of the vehicles will hunker down into place and become immovable. They will still shoot and everything, but they can't leave that location. So this person might be controlling this and going ahead and putting them in repair mode so they can regenerate their health. So you can actually have these last stand moments away from everything without having to come back in range of like a requisition point to reinforce anything like that. And what I also want to kind of draw your attention to, it looks like they've changed these just a little bit now. These little icons here denote kind of what's going on, what type of unit this is. This is some sort of heavy fire unit. This is some sort of light fire unit. Now I'm just saying light and heavy fire because my brain just not gonna let me conceive anything else right now. But like, I mean, you can see too, you have got this little of the old fast attack symbol, and you have this symbol for a melee unit. So you get these quick contextual tips about what's going on. Over right here, you can see that this thing is, if you can see my mouse, I'm sorry, I'm on, if you're on mobile, I apologize. But at the top of the screen here, you'll see two little cracked shields if you're on mobile. Those cracked shields are denoting that unit can crack armor open. So there's a lot of chaos going on the battlefield, but at least you get a lot of good context as to what you can do very quickly. A little bit more evidence of the sync animations, some of the boom boom wagons of the orcs. You can see a little bit more AdMech play right here. It's just kind of just showing that off, so we didn't get much of it in the last trailer. Now we finally get a good shot of the Necrons here, and Necrons are very fun, as you would imagine. I don't know much about their actual gameplay mechanics. I was not able to really play them. I don't know what their building is like. Do they summon things in like the Eldar did, so on and so forth. But I can tell you, as I slightly drool on myself, they can tell you that they will resurrect themselves and the such as they take damage. Oh, that's right. watching them shoot in like big, oh, you can kind of see it right here. Watching them shoot in big volleys is really cool. Now, and this is just one example, but watch as I press play. It'll come from, there we go. This is a volley of a bunch of different Gauss rifles shooting from a unit. Really cool. So that's perfect. Let me go back to that. And just to kind of show off a little bit more here. So this looks like the complete roster. I really was hoping we would get aggressors added in. Maybe they still will add them because this game's not due out until 2026. But you can see how the buildings look in the background here. Bingo, bango, bongo. You can see all of your different Primaris that you're going to be taking advantage. Actually, this is not the full roster for sure, because I don't see any Stern Guard veteran in that. Yeah, it's just a little, well, looks like a pause too soon. And you can see the different variations on these. Now, these aren't two different tanks that are being built. The Executioners? I'm sorry, guys. I can't remember. But these loadouts are hot swappable. So I don't produce a unit anymore and then have to completely wait until that unit's items are killed. Like if Dawn of War 1, for example. So if I were to take a Space Marine Tactical Squad, as they were called back then, and lose, put heavy bolters on them and lose 8 people on that squad, I'd be able to put different heavy weapons on them because the heavy bolters may or may not have died. In this case, we can swap these things at the drop of a hat. We just simply press buttons and we can do it. As you can see, these have different armaments on them. The Redemptor Dreadnoughts all have different kits, and being able to swap out the sponsons, swap out the top turret at, again, the drop of the hat is a really fun thing, because it's one of the cool things about playing just any RTS, right? You kind of get married to a unit. You're like, oh man, I've had this one OG since the very start of the match. I don't want to lose it. And I know it's falling off in effectiveness because maybe I rolled out with heavy bolters and I'm playing against Chaos, and Chaos is heavy bolters, and its ladder tech doesn't really make much sense. I want to switch to Plasma. Well, now you can just simply do that, and you can still kind of have that veterancy attached to the unit. Finally, a good shot here of the Admech. That was a particularly spiffy shot right there. Oh, come on, man. So there you go. There's a real good shot of them. All of the, well, I don't think this is all of the units. I think it's a good concentration of them. I don't see any of the hero units being sampled in this video really at all. And we know that there are quite a few hero units that will be accessible to the game. I mean, I said something like six per faction, or 6 in total. I can't recall, but quite a lot of hero units will be accessible. And here too, we can see a lot of people have asked about this, how the building works for orcs. They actually have little guys will come out and do the building for them, which is pretty cool. That it drops down from orbit as always. And you can also see how the build menus will work in the game. So it's a very clutter-free UI, which I really enjoyed. There is, you click something and boom, there is UI that then is accessible to take advantage of for that unit building, maybe doing its individual upgrades, as you can see right here at the as I sound on the way. As you can see right here, there's a skill upgrade section. That is where you would swap out all of your individual weapons and armor, or whatever choices you've made for that unit. They'd be hot swappable in that location. And also to this, so we're taking a look at a mech boy, right? In this case, we can't do any kind of upgrades, but upgrades for hero units would be done from this screen as well. So this is pretty much like your catch-all for everything. And you can see for orcs, we have their wall at the top. I don't know how those mechanics work, unfortunately. Man, this game is going to be so fucking good. Again, just some more just examples of the Necrons. Yeah, that's one of the Space Marine hero units. Voiced by Orlando Bloom. I know it's not that guy. No, it's not. Spike Spiegel. So a lot of great things are coming, and I'm stoked to see finally a little bit more. I mean, we can see right there the Librarian. I want to see more of what these hero units look like, feel like for the factions. I think it's the one thing that we've not been able to play around with a lot. I've been able to fight them. I've been able to play with just simply that individual one using Phobos armor. And I'd love to see if there are going to be maybe some sort of generic versions, what kind of unit diversity we're going to be playing around with. And I want to see too how Psyker abilities will work in Dawn of War 4. I've yet to play with any of those or get a feel for them or even see examples of how they really come to life. So those are the two big question marks in my mind of how this game operates. Now, those aren't bad question marks. I think they're totally fine. But I think there are a lot of the ones that people have a lot of questions about as well. So I'm very excited to see what the new year brings for Dawn of War 4, when that actual 2026 launch is going to be. And I hope to God it's nowhere near GTA 6. No, I don't think anyone's going to really want to put anything near GTA 6. But I think it's going to be fun to get a good jump back into, what do I want to call it? Like, I don't want to say arcade RTS, but it's just a classic style of RTS. You know, it's not going to worry about skill shots the whole time like I did in Dawn of War 3. I'm not going to be worrying about like insane APMs like I've had to do in like any other RTS that I'm trying to play, where I'm like, I'm too old now. My brain, my hand and brain can't move like that. But it'll be fun, I think, to finally jump back into a Dawn of War that feels more like 1, but has the weight and gravitas of 2. And I think that's what a lot of people have wanted. And like I've said before in my original coverage of this, King Art Games really, I think, nailed it, because the best way to describe the difference between Dawn of War 3 and 4 is Dawn of War 3 feels like a game that was made by a game company of people that were told to make Dawn of War 3. Dawn of War 4 plays and feels like a game company that played Dawn of War 1 and 2 till it was fucking, like, I don't know, broken. And they wanted to make another one, and they came together and made Dawn of War 4. So really stoked to see what Dawn of War 4 has on the horizon. What are your thoughts on this trailer so far? What are some questions you have? What are some things that maybe this didn't answer for you? Maybe you didn't watch my last video. I played the game before, so I can help answer them if I can. So go ahead and leave any questions about the game that you might have in the comment section below. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching here today. Have a good one and take care.